Alright, hope this all works. It's Tuesday, forget what date it is, 11th, 12th, something or other of April. Having a bit of fun with the phone because I dropped it in some water when I was pouring concrete a little earlier on. Only about half an hour ago or so I'm not even sure if this is working. I'm pretty sure, I know I could talk to people, but I couldn't hear anybody, my speaker's not working. I had a look at this house earlier on today with a quote I'm doing just up the road, and because of it, and because I'm trying to educate and trying to help make things better, that's the whole goal, is to make everything better and to help people along the way, and to try and prevent some of the things that do happen, like what's happening on this job. If we can help stop that from happening, it would make everybody's job a whole lot easier, especially in years to come, because what I was informed of when I came here earlier, well, I'm not here to get anybody in trouble, I'm here to make it all work and to try and better everybody that's out there. But this was done only recently, and I came in this morning and they said that the guys, even the engineers, had come and certified this and said it's okay, but I'm not sure if they've done the steel. I'm pretty sure they've done the footings, but as to engineering and certifying doing the final on the steel work, I don't know too many engineers that actually passed this, but I'll show you why. Okay, as we come up here, piece of steel, we have the steel post, as you've seen on some of the work we do, and all we do is we do no more than just industry standard. We do not go overboard, we do not go excessive, we just try and make sure all the engineers are happy and that everybody's going to be happy for years to come. Now, here we have all this steel. It's only a little piece of 150, it's not a problem. These guys must be only in the industry a short time because their welding needs a lot more work. They're getting there, piece by piece. That'll hold, it's just not, yeah. Okay, if you can see that, it needs work. Okay, they need to teach the boys how to weld. Same here. This is supposed to be finished. Now, according to regulation, this post here is tied down to the house, which it is. It's got his coaches or bolts, whatever he's using there. But what's holding the steel to the post? You have one bolt over the top of the post. It's fine, but there's no tie down from the steel to the post. Now we have the same thing here. This piece of steel there is bolted to the sides, packed off with 1.5 inch, which, yeah, is no problem, to match the bearer at the front. But what's holding the steel to the post? So what's actually holding that steel up there? What is making that steel stay where they want it? You know, they're relying on just the bolts. You know, there's brackets missing everywhere here because that steel at this stage is just free floating. It's not doing anything. There's no support. Nothing's holding that steel up except a couple of bolts. And nothing's holding it down either. Yeah, the boys need some work. Definitely need work with the welding, I tell you, to try and bring their standards up. So boys, whoever this was, I do know, but when you see the video, like, what's nice corner, welding needs work, but what's holding that piece of steel to that post? And then what's holding the bearer up? They've only got straights. It should be a T to hold that bearer up, because the only thing that's holding that is a piece of 1 inch timber up there. So all this steel is mounted on some bolts on that side and mounted on bolts on this side. But the only thing holding this whole floor section up is 1 inch of timber on that bearer. I'll show you more. So we go through. Same again. Now, as far as I've been told from the builders, this steelwork's finished. Okay, the top plates are only just on there. The guys must just be learning how to weld, I think. So I forgive them for the holes and for the lumpy weld, but where's the connection from the beam to the post? And even worse, if the builder's right and the engineer did pass it, where's the engineer certify this? Because I want to see the ticket. I really do. What's holding that floor up? There you have it. That should have been a T, so it's holding underneath that bearer. What's holding that up? Nothing. Hopefully they're going to be pulling that out and making a stairwell in there, I hope. Once again, here's our tie down. Okay, yeah, the temporary brace. No turnbuckle, so you can't pull it around to straight. UB over the top. Shitty welds, but doing okay, they'll hold. Once it's all buried in the wall, nobody will ever see it. The tie down, fair. Nothing fantastic there, but you will pass on that. That steel is over the top, but yeah, that's the sort of work I have done in the past, but damn, that was a long time ago. When I was beginning, 25 years ago. So I can't blame them for that. Whoever's doing it is getting into it, they're learning, I hope. But as you see here, what's holding that bearer up? That bearer has 1 inch check over the top there, and that's holding the whole floor weight. That's a legal span by itself, no problem. Providing there's something holding this end up. Nothing. You go have a look at this one, and you'll like this one. Here we have, once again, not sure if you can see that. The sun's getting in the way. Once again, there's a bearer. Now, it's got a piece of 150C channel on it. Now, none of the coaches are completely rattled off. There's nothing holding those together yet. On this side, it's got a 150C channel. Nothing holding that 150C channel to the external bearer. And not a thing holding that 150C channel to that steel post. And the only thing holding all that up, the floor, the C channel, and anything else that's on top of it, is a 1 inch piece of timber checked over the outside bearer. I'm not sure about you, but I'm pretty sure that that will give way in time to come. And as the builders did say, it's not their problem. It's got passed by the engineer, and it'll all fall back on the engineer and the stumper. But I don't see that as a real good idea either, because believe it or not, the builder gets it first. He's the one that cops the shit first. There it is. Those steel beams aren't welded together, which they don't have to be. It's just a nice way to finish. I'm not even sure. I haven't got up there. I'm not even sure if they're welded to that steel beam. They're possibly just sitting on top of it, which is not a nice idea either, because it's all supposed to be tied out. And there's a bolt missing. I know the engineers I use, if they saw that, they say, no ticket, you got to sort it out. Same what we got happening over here. Here we have that. That's fair. It's welded off, not cleaned or painted or anything. Once again, 150C channel, and nothing holding it to the post, and nothing holding that bearer up next to the post, and the only thing holding that steel channel up and the floor up is again another piece of 1 inch timber, that bearer with a 1 inch check over the top of the external bearer. Here they've still got another piece of steel apparently to go in there. I understand that, but guys, you know, for anybody that's doing any work or getting any work done and you see finished like this, please, you know, if you accept this, you deserve everything that's coming to you. If you pay for this, yeah, I can't help you. You know, this is where standards come in, and there are standards, and there are engineers supposed to check this and make sure this doesn't happen. It's only as supposed to. You know, it's only as good as the people who are doing the jobs. If the stumper isn't doing his job properly, and then the builder isn't coming back and saying, "Oi, that's not right," and I'm pretty sure they haven't had an engineer certify the steel beams, because I don't know any engineer that has passed. That doesn't mean there isn't any. Just that I don't know of one, and anyone that does let that pass, I don't work with. That might be the reason why I don't know of any, because it just doesn't happen with me. Yeah. No, I can't do it. I had to come back and do this. So I can't tell you who, what, and where, but I can tell you that if this is their standard, and this is a standard that people accept, it is far, and I mean far short of industry regulation. The regulations in the industry are far higher than this, and I'd like to see this in a couple of weeks. I'll actually see if I can get past, once they start walling it up and sheeting it, see if it's been done. But I have seen a couple of jobs close to this in the last few weeks where I just call in and have a look, but this would have to be the worst one I've seen. I understand if these guys have only just started out in business and they've never been taught, as most of the stumpers around town are only glorified sledgehammer swingers. They don't actually know how to read a plan or do any of the chippy work or anything else. They're only labourers who think they know something and become stumpers, and that's usually how it works. There's no problem if they have a standard. If they have developed a bit of skill, I have no hassle at all. And if anybody wants to take me up and have a bit of an argument with me, please. I'd love to do it, especially on YouTube. Because, you know, the BSA, you know, is here for this sort of thing, and I know that in years to come, if this goes through like this, and is accepted like this, and actually gets built in like this, I know it's going to cost the owners tens, if not hundreds of $1,000s to rectify in the next 5 to 6 years. Because I know the builders will walk away from it. The BSA will have to come in and see what they can do, which is almost nothing. Because once it gets to this stage and doesn't get rectified, when it gets to the next stage, it's just a big fight as to who did this, who did that, who did what, who signed, who didn't. At the end of the day, the owners are stuck with it. Where it's so easy to... it costs, what, $300-400 to fix right now. That's all it does. That's all it would have cost when the guys came in here to do it. So, I don't mean to niggle or to... I'm not trying to put anybody down. I'm not trying to do anything more than educate and help get a better standard, or at least get to a standard, which is the industry standard, which is written down and people are supposed to comply with. Now these guys are getting paid the same money, maybe, I doubt if they're much cheaper than I am, because we're all about the same price. There's not much of a difference with the guys who do the work. We're all very competitive. And yeah, so they're not getting that much less, if any less, than I get paid to do the same job. And if you go through my videos, you'll see how we go about it. And our engineers recommend us to jobs, because that's how the job's supposed to be. And all we don't do any more than industry standard. This one is way below industry standard and needs to be looked at. But just here to let you guys know, if you see this and you accept this as a finished product, yeah, whatever happens, it's all yours. Okay, I'll leave it at that, and I'll come back another couple of weeks. But please, yeah, make some comment. There's room for comment on my site. Make some comments if you want to see more of this sort of thing. I'll actually go around town have a look at some of the other houses and point the goods and the bads. And it's good for the owners and the builders and anybody else who's watching to know what they should or shouldn't do. Because until you've seen it, how would you know? You know, it's as I say, the welding is fair. It's nothing fantastic. He's only been at it a short time, so he's not real good at it yet. They get better. I've trained a few welders in my time. They do get better, but you know, this one's already having a problem. There's a crack in that bearer just there. It's where it's got a cut, and there's nothing. There should be a piece of steel in this bearer, unless they've got something going through it later. And there's a wall going underneath it. But once they have a triple stud, double stud under it right there, it's already got a crack in the bearer. And of course, there's nothing holding the ends up, which is a big no-no, because it's like, how hard is it to make it a T? Yeah, they should all be T plates on top of those stumps, so you can hold the bearers up. Anyway, that's the negative area of our business. Hope it's been enlightening or helped in some way to sort out some problems some other people have. But remember, just because they do it doesn't mean you have to accept it. You don't have to pay for this. This is not industry standard. You know, if you have guys do this and you're not paying them half of what you pay everybody else, because that's all it's worth. The steel beam's okay. You can't pay any less than that, whatever you pay at the steel shops, what they cost. The bolts are the same. But the installation, I couldn't pay for that. It'd cost me a couple of grand for my guys to come here and fix this up to make it industry standard. So look it over, make sure you check out everything you do. Like, you don't need to pay for this sort of work. I wouldn't. Most of the builders I work with don't. They refuse to have this sort of work on their jobs because, you know, they're only as good as their contractors. If their contractors aren't any good, then the builder's on a downhill slide to start with. You know, he's fighting an uphill battle. I know they're trying to make it a bit cheaper by getting a cheaper contractor in, but do remember that if you get a cheaper contractor, you end up with cheaper work. And they miss things like tie down and bolts, and they're welding second or third grade. And there's a whole stack of steel that's supposed to be under this thing to hold it up that isn't there. As I said, if this did get passed by an engineer, I'd like to meet that engineer to find out whether he's actually got a ticket. But I dare say it didn't, because yeah, I don't know any engineer that would pass this. It's not at a standard that they would pass as yet. And any engineer that does shouldn't be in Queensland. All right. That's my say. Enjoy yourselves. Show you more later. See ya.